Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz.
And I'm entrepreneur Breezy Gipson.
And we're glad that you're with us once again. It's always a blast when we get together and do this. And as always, we send a warm thanks and shout out to our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Atlanta, Georgia. And you know what? I'm already looking forward to this. We definitely appreciate those platforms for everything that they do to support us. And, we really appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you sharing us with your friends. Just a lot of love and appreciation today. How about that?
Hey, man, sounds good. And yeah, big ups to all of them, for doing that. So, hey, there's no salute left unturned when it comes to that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know what? Without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the show. Of course, we kick it off with beats by myself, Achickwitbeatz. And then we got some music industry news coming right at you after that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go.
Hey, family, this is Breezy Gipson, social media influencer. If you're an aspiring artist, or if you're a seasoned professional music artist, and you have a music video that you want to share with a global television audience, your search is over. Whether it's jazz, rock, hip hop, Latino, gospel, pop music, country, house, techno, reggae, Hispanic, and other genres, this is the right spot. Whether you're located in the United States, Europe, Africa, South America, India, Mexico, Asia, Australia, Italy, or other countries, we got you covered. Contact me at getsparksnow@gmail.com. That's GETSPARKXNOW@gmail.com, or leave me a message at 678-632-2620. Let's get it together.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen.
Hey, family, this is Breezy Gipson, social media influencer. If you're an aspiring artist, or if you're a seasoned professional music artist, and you have a music video that you want to share with a global television audience, your search is over. Whether it's jazz, rock, hip hop, Latino, gospel, pop music, country, house, techno, reggae, Hispanic, and other genres, this is the right spot. Whether you're located in the United States, Europe, Africa, South America, India, Mexico, Asia, Australia, Italy, or other countries, we got you covered. Contact me at getsparksnow@gmail.com. That's GETSPARKXNOW@gmail.com, or leave me a message at 678-632-2620. Let's get it together.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, Achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's Achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen. All right, we're back with music industry news. Man, BMG is doubling down on North America. They've done some shifts and everything and promoting people and whatnot. So they've been aiming to increase their investment in U.S. music labels, currently contributing 50% of its revenue. So they said, hey, let's just go for it. And so we'll get to see, what that brings forth this year. But in the first half of 2023, BMG's recorded music and music publishing earned $447 million. So John Lobo, who was the former president of BMG Nashville, now he's going to lead the entire North American Frontline Records business, covering Nashville, LA, New York, and Canada. So yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting to see some of these changes that they're making. We already shared recently that they've gotten out of the live music business. But, it's always interesting to pay attention when these companies are making these changes to see exactly where they're focusing and where they think that the majority of their success is going to come from. And so they're gambling big on U.S. music labels. And yeah, we'll have to see what that actually brings forth. What do you think?
Hey, well, if the shoe fits, wear it. Everybody's got their own outlook on different things. Right now, actually, within the last week, 2 weeks, there have been more to the contrary. There have been more big time acts that have been announced, right here in the Atlanta vicinity. I mean, with, some major folks, just this morning. Hey, just today, the tickets for Alex Cooper come on sale. I mean, and folks been waiting for him for a long time. Okay, so I wrote down a list of some of these mega groups that are appearing. Now, the Alex Cooper concert's in September, but I already know, most people already know that thing's going to be sold out today. Okay, and, July 4th, there's some big biggies coming, and I don't have that paper with me right now to read them off, but everybody's got their own idea. So, BMG wants to double down. That's fine. Okay. On the other hand, somebody else is promoting big mega concerts. I mean, that's fine. So, hey, what's the phrase is, hey, competition's healthy.
Yeah, it is. But, you mentioned, so with them deciding to get out of live music, and then, how you mentioned that's picking up, that's definitely a contrarian bet. And also, I mean, we've been seeing and even sharing stories for a while now about how the U.S. music market has been kind of shrinking. So the fact that they're doubling down on U.S. labels, yeah, so they're definitely going contrarian with some of these moves that they're making. But I find it interesting. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. And if you get a hold of that list before we close out, then feel free to share it, because some people might be looking forward to it. And a lot of times you always hear about how people might hear something after the fact. So you might be giving these people a good leg up to get a chance to be able to see some of their favorite acts and whatnot.
Yeah, just off my recollection, Journey was announcing, what's that, Steve, I can't remember the front man, But anyway, they're like bringing some power packed um events. So you just never know.
Yeah, I bet. Saying you're one of the major music hubs too, so we know you got all the tea.
Well, I get a teaspoon of the tea.
All right. School of Rock has announced that they want to expand into Motown. So, the performance based music education organization has over 355 schools across 15 global markets. Says that they want to expand their presence in Detroit through franchising. So, if you're listening, you're out there, you might be interested. The initial investment for a School of Rock franchise is about $395,800 on up to maybe 537, 400. These numbers are really specific to be given in a range like that, but that's what they said. And it actually includes the $49,900 franchise fee. So they're saying that ideal candidates or groups of investors will have a net worth of around 350,000, and at least 150 of that should be liquid. So, additionally, they say that they give discounts to US military veterans. And so, yeah, if that's something that you're interested or people who might, hey, they're looking to do it. So just an FYI and a heads up for you.
Yeah, and as you say, they're performance based. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
strong stuff.
Yeah. All right. And Stax Music Academy presents Stax Meets Motown. It's a Black History Month study guide, and it's a virtual production. So, with civil rights and Black studies being targeted nationwide, Stax Music wants to distribute a student created Black History Month study guide to kind of commemorate civil rights, Black radio, and the recording industry in the 1960s and 70s. So Stax Meets Motown is supposed to explore why both the raw, gritty sounds of Stax and the smooth, polished tunes of Motown are important. So I think that this is a really good thing that they're doing. Shout out to Curtis Metcalf. He said that he's been having these conversations in certain circles, and hey, who knows? Maybe that's what kind of inspired this. So yeah, definitely something to check out. If you want to see what they have available online, please do that. That's so important to kind of understand the history of whatever you're doing. So especially if you're in the music industry, definitely something to take a look at and see how the different things affected the music and how music affected life. So definitely make sure that you check that out. And I just think it's a great thing, especially like since they said that civil rights and Black studies have been kind of shunned. We're hearing about them trying to take all this education out. So, hey, the fact that they're trying to supplement some of that info, I think is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed, totally.
All right, Predicted Platinum Records is launching a free recording program exclusively for artists signed to their distribution network. So they're seeing the program as a way to establish long-term partnerships with their exclusive distribution artists. They're aiming to nurture a collaborative and supportive environment, fostering growth and advancing careers by investing in the success of its artists. You don't hear about distribution companies doing that very often. I can't say that I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, but I personally haven't heard of it. And so I think that that's a pretty interesting route to go. Of course, that's going to make more artists want to work with them. So it's, good for them too. But to be able to get free studio time because they're saying, hey, we just want you to work on the art. Like, just focus on that. Don't even worry about the money. I mean, hey, we'll have to see if some more distribution companies kind of follow suit. But yeah, I think that that's a really interesting thing. What about you?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, Apple Music is going to pay artists up to 10% higher royalties for music that's available in spatial audio. So they said that the upcoming change is aiming to reward higher quality content and to ensure that artists are fairly compensated for investing time in spatial mixing. So they also noted that the widespread adoption of spatial, with about 80% of songs reaching Apple Music's global daily top 100 in the past year, have been available in spatial. So that's basically saying, please give us more spatial audio in multiple different ways, just to kind of sum it up. We'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, I feel like, at least on the listener side, I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about how they enjoy spatial audio compared to everything else. So if you're a listener out there and that's your thing, you're really into that, please reach out, let us know. Because I'm just not really hearing any conversations about that. How about you?
No, zero. So it doesn't mean, I'm not downplaying or anything. It's just that on the personal side, I haven't.
Yeah, and even the fact that they're like, "Hey, we'll even pay you more for it," sounds like they're actually trying to make it a thing. But hey, I could be wrong. We all run in different circles. So yeah, if you know anything different, please let us know. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just think it's kind of interesting. Hey, TuneCore says that over 80,000 indie artists are enrolled in their TuneCore Accelerator marketing programs. So, I mean, over 80,000 is a lot. And they said that that's across, multiple digital service providers. Their accelerator program consists of 4 different development plans. There's Start for early stage development artists with less than 1,000 streams per year. Then there's Amplify for emerging stage artists with between 1,000 and 9,999 streams per year. Then there's Break for the accelerating stage artists, and that's between 10,000 to 99,999 streams per year. And then there's Maximize for the top stage of development artists with 100,000 to over 1 million streams per year. So a lot of different tiers. People can kind of get in where they fit in to see what happens. And according to TuneCore, almost 10,000 artists increased their streams by an average of 143%. So one, that's a lot of artists, and that's a huge percentage to have on average. But do note that that's 10,000 artists over 80,000 artists. So that's a very small percentage, which means that you can still, pay to be able to get into those programs, depending on where you're at, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. So yeah, those stats are very impressive, but yeah, 10,000 out of over 80,000, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But hey, if you've got the money to do it and you want to give it a try, go ahead and go for it, but just know that it's not a guarantee.
Well, it's a do or don't, and some will, some won't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things you got to pay attention anytime they start throwing those numbers and stats at you. Sometimes you got to kind of take a step back and like, okay, what does this actually mean? And so, of course, they put those figures kind of far apart in their report. But it's like when you look at it, like, yeah, that's kind of a small percentage that it's actually benefiting, but you could be a part of it. So it doesn't mean that it's not worth trying.
Yeah, you're right. Go for it.
All right. The sports music licensing company Click and Clear has made a deal with Warner Chappell Music. The agreement follows a 2-year period since they entered the licensing arrangement with Warner Music Group. And so that gave them access to the catalog for the performance sports market. And according to the company, the platform is utilized by over 1,000 publishers and labels, which include, of course, Universal, Sony, Warner, BMG, Cobalt, Concord, Downtown. And they say that they have numerous independent labels as well. So they say that their proprietary technology oversees the management of more than 26 million music rights. So that's a lot. And we already know how well sports and music go together. So it makes sense. And I'm kind of interested to see how many other people they can bring into the fold, pretty much.
I read this article the other day about In Living Color, okay, and talking about the Super Bowl halftime performances. And see, the very first time for in the Super Bowl in Living Color, actually they had a halftime party going on television on another channel that was apart from the Super Bowl football game. Okay, and the statistics were out the roof. So, but the Super Bowl folks, they didn't like that because that meant that all these people left the Super Bowl and turned to this other channel to see the that great show, music oriented show, and so they put their foot down. They said that would never happen again.
Wow.
That's why they started putting big emphasis with their sponsors to make something big happen at halftime. And see, that's there you go, history lesson.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, kudos to them for being able to pull that off,
Yeah,
to put on something to that magnitude to where they're like, oh no, we can't let them do this again.
right.
That's already success in itself. So yeah.
So if you're super young, we already know you don't even know who In Living Color is.
Yeah. They
So you
probably
might as
thought you
well.
was talking about the show. Yeah.
So so do your research. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just check it out, and you'll be able to find out, the authenticity of what I'm saying. So, hey.
Mhm. And shout out to our former guest and friend Sinke. I know he's a big Living Color fan. So yeah, if you listen, shout out to you. All right. Universal Music Group is launching U Music Lift, which is a dedicated online hub that's designed to accelerate and connect music related startups and entrepreneurs. So it hasn't launched yet, but once it does, it's going to cater to the music focused startups by offering educational materials, news updates, and different ways to connect with Universal Music Group teams. So the platform is also going to serve as an online hub for Universal Music Group's digital innovation team, which has led multiple initiatives already, including the UMG Accelerator Engagement Network, Capital 360 Innovation Center, which and also an internal incubator called Abbey Road Red. Let's see, digital innovation licensing and events encompassing hackathons, panel discussions, music business, educational programming. I mean, it's running the gamut of everything. So they're saying that they're just trying to help people who are in the industry educate themselves, which, as we know, is always an important thing. We definitely advocate for that here. So yeah, if you kind of fall into any of those categories or know someone that's got a music related startup, then definitely make sure that you check that out when it launches. And again, that's called U Music Lift.
That's strong stuff right there.
Mm-hmm. All right, the London-based music tech startup called Set Mixer has secured $760,000 in seed investment for AI assisted live music recording and mixing tools. So basically, they deliver high quality live show recordings to venues and artists available for sharing in basically real time. So its device that records ensures that from the moment the mixing console is activated and instruments are tuned, a state of the art audio recording of 64 channels, various hertz and all that stuff and bits is captured. With the aid of AI in the mixing process, bands can now have a platform ready recording for upload to any of the digital service providers by the end of the performance. How
Mm,
insane is that?
mm, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So, of course, there's a couple of different schools of thought on AI and music and, for the AI to be doing the mixing to make it ready to upload. Of course, that can hurt people who actually mix and master and all that good stuff. But yeah, this technology is basically promising to do some major things. So of course you'd actually need someone there to mix the show itself. But yeah, this tool will actually help adapt it to make sure that it's ready to be distributed as soon as it's done. And so they've already, kind of put this to the test. There's been a few artists that have used it. And I think that this is probably something we're going to be seeing a lot more of because, that's even more ways for the artists to be able to monetize their live shows. So yeah, I don't think that's a part of the train that can be stopped. So if you're anti AI music, this is probably bad news for you. But I mean, like I said, you still need the human touch for the actual show and other things as well. Like if you want to actually have a studio project out, you know, definitely use a person. Don't take a job away from a person. But in this particular instance, I think this is going to go full steam ahead. What about you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if if it contains the elements of being precise,
Hmm.
oh man, in the recording, I mean, hey, shoot, that's going to be hard to overcome right there. Okay,
Right.
so you have to really check to see if there's any other um, um, fallacies that you can make up for with a human. But this, ooh, it's hey, I'm interested to see what's how this is going to play out.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with them getting that kind of money, that means that, maybe we'll start hearing more about it. They can probably kick that into advertising or maybe even perfecting the software itself. So yeah, we had to see what's gonna happen. But I mean, you gotta admit, just from a technological standpoint, that's really fascinating.
It is. Now you're talking about um, action activity on the high level like NASA or some other
Yeah.
group like that. I mean, they're being extremely specific, on these hertzes and stuff like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially in like a live setting,
Hmm.
the nuance that maybe I guess in other situations you might want AI to be a little more perfect in, but depending on how the model is actually trained, you might get some of that stuff that gives it that whole, live essence. And so to imagine, you're coming off the stage, in 10 minutes, it's going to be available for your fans that couldn't make the show to be able to go to Spotify and listen and feel like they were at the concert. I mean, just the different ways that you could package that to market is just, yeah, there's so many possibilities with that.
Yeah, yeah. Now there's pluses and minuses. There's pluses and minuses. One of the minuses is, could this be another way to take well-earned money from the musician and take it out of their pocket? Hmm.
How so?
Well, another fee they gotta pay.
Mm, yeah, I mean, but, I suppose you kind of deal with that anytime that you release music. Um, yeah, I mean, it is an added expense for the artist, but to think that you might be able to reach more fans, you could potentially view it as an investment. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's always multiple sides to it. you
yeah,
know, anytime you got a pro, there's always a con. So
yeah.
all right, Shazam now lets you identify music in apps while wearing headphones. So their recent announcement says that the new feature well, you can simply open the app, you can confirm the headphone connectivity with the icon, and start identifying music in your surroundings or within apps like TikTok and YouTube. So the update supports both wired and Bluetooth headphones. Whether you're watching a TikTok video or sitting in a cafe, you can Shazam the songs without removing your headphones, making it easier for you to discover music in different scenarios. So it's important to note that Shazam already had it enabled to where you could identify it within apps, but before you couldn't use the function while you had your headphones on, but now you can. So, hey, again, another amazing technological advancement that's kind of pushing music forward a little bit.
Will it ever stop? Nope.
No, not at all.
Nope.
All right. And finally, last week we shared that the MLC had announced that they were auditing major music streamers, and now we see the reason why. The U.S. Copyright Office is conducting its first checkups for the MLC, which is the Mechanical Licensing Collective, and the DLC, which is the Digital Licensee Coordinator. So they're using a redesignation process to ensure the effective fulfillment of their purposes. And the routine evaluation is going to occur every 5 years. They Both the MLC and the DLC assumed their roles in 2019. And so now both organizations will write self reports on their past performance and their future plans. They need to address key points mandated by the Copyright Office, which include having ample endorsements for various sectors, administrative capabilities, their governance structures, and specific responses, such as the MLC's progress on implementing suggestions from the Unclaimed Royalties Report and the DLC's involvement with the Copyright Royalty Board. So, hey, this is always a good thing. You definitely need checks and balances in place. with things like this to make sure that everybody's getting paid and nobody's, missing money that needs to go to music creators and rights holders. So, initially when stuff like this gets announced, people automatically think, oh no, what went wrong? Have they been messing us over? And this isn't the case. This was already planned from the get go when all these were established. And so now, it's actually coming into fruition. And this is going to happen every 5 years, which I think is a good pace to kind of make sure that everything's on the up and up. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that stuff's got to be on the up and up. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not going to knock that because, there's pros and cons, like you said on the last story. But, when it comes to protecting folks, but now every 5 years, okay. But life moves on.
Well, do you think it probably should be sooner?
Well, yeah, because there have been various. When I was in the business sector,
Mm-hmm.
okay, there were certain audits that were done yearly. Well, actually, there were certain audits that were done twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then they mess around and let more than a year go by, and they didn't do any audits. Okay, and so then when that follow up audit actually took place, man, oh man, the stuff was gone haywire. Okay, so you know, different things can happen. So you're talking every 5 years, man. I mean, a lot can happen in 6 months, let alone 5 years. But hey, you
Yeah.
know, this is the first time, so you know, they'll they'll work it out. They'll work it out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. A lot can go on, but hopefully, especially after this particular uh, audit kind of goes around, depending on how that comes out, maybe they'll adjust it if they need to, or make sure that they're keeping the proper records that they need to, so that way, 5 years
Yeah,
later, down the line, they don't have to hustle to try to come up with everything. So,
great
yeah.
point. Great point.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm,
That was some of my finance background,
mhm,
dealing with
mhm.
the audits. Yeah, if you keep
Yeah,
your records on the up and up, then
yeah,
when they pop up, then boom, all you got to do is slap it down on the table,
yeah,
give them your extension number so they know where to reach you if they have any
yeah.
questions. But
Oh
yeah,
man, I was on the nightmare end of that. So hey, that was some years back, but it's very vivid in my mind.
yeah, yeah. I feel like those types of things just kind of stick with you. They don't really go away. It doesn't matter
No.
if you change industries,
Mhm.
sectors, whatever. Like that stuff stays with you.
Ooh, a nightmare. Wow.
Yeah. I
Who's in
mean,
charge here? Who's in charge here?
right.
Breezy. Breezy's in charge. Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't want to use the word trauma, but
Yeah,
yeah.
trauma, plenty of trauma. Yeah, trauma and drama. Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, with that, just use this opportunity again to remind you, if you're not registered with the MLC, please make sure that you do that. It's another way to make sure that you get royalties that are owed to you. Most people do know that you need to sign with a pro, depending on your location, wherever you're at. I know there are tons, but popular ones here where we are in the US tend to be BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC. I mean, even though that's Canadian, but yeah, just make sure that you do those things. Register with the pros, but also make sure that your work is registered with the MLC, especially if you write your own songs. If you're producing your own music and all that good stuff, you want to make sure that you get everything that you can get. So, take the time. They've got a great FAQ section for probably most of the questions that you have. And then also their help desk is very, very responsive and they're thorough. So, yeah, please make sure that you do that. We definitely don't want you leaving money on the table that you've earned.
All right. All right.
All right. Well, that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. Once again, We've had a great time doing this. We thank you for joining us. We thank our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Atlanta, Georgia. And, hey, it's always a lot of information going on, especially, with the year kicking off. I'm sure we'll have plenty more stories to share with you next week as well. Can you believe? I mean, this is February already, and yeah, it's just so much info out there. We try our best to make sure that we get you the best of the best so that way you can plan for your career the way that you need to. Always reach out if you have questions that you'd like for us to address on the show. Can't guarantee that we'll do it, but hey, reach out, let us know if there's a specific topic that you want us to cover. And we'll see what we can do to make sure you get the info you need.
And please make it a point to visit Achickwitbeatz.com, scroll down, find the show archives, go through that. And because there's some great interviews from the past that you may have missed. And so, Achickwitbeatz.com, go to the show archives and partake of that.
Yes, most definitely. So, till next time, you know where to find us. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.